Hey there, how you doing? It's Brad Stinson with Team Brad Stinson Podcast. And it is my distinct pleasure and honor to introduce our next guest on the podcast. She is a Blue Star mother, and I would like to welcome Lori Buchanan. How are you?
I'm great. Hi, Brad. Thanks for having me.
Well, thanks for coming on, and thanks for agreeing to come on and entertain the 12 people that actually listen to my podcast. Hopefully you can increase that, you and your mothers.
Yeah.
So can you tell me what the difference is between a Blue Star Mother and what the Blue Star Mother organization is? What is it?
Well, Blue Stars and Blue Star Family is a given. It's for families who have service members who are serving or who have served. But the Blue Star Mother organization is nationwide. It's an official organization that we belong to and join. And our mission is to serve our military and veteran community and also support each other. So, maybe someone could be a Blue Star Mother or a Blue Star Family, but they don't belong to the organization.
Yeah, take my mom, for example. Now
exactly.
Here's a classic example. A Blue Star Mother is a mom who has son or daughter in the military. Blue Star Mother organization, something that you join, which there's a lot to be said about that, right?
Exactly. Some folks aren't big joiners, but
joiners, followers, you mean?
Well, but if a mom, a lot of times we'll find with new parents, maybe a mom whose child just enlisted, and now they're digesting what that means, and they are looking for support. They'll usually start looking for an organization. But we try to keep a little cards, say at the recruiters' offices, and ask them to share, or they'll hear by word of mouth, or even do a search on the web or whatever.
You guys always pop up around the holidays, mothers and stuff, right?
Right.
Always pop up around the holidays. Like last year, I started seeing Blue Star Mothers events going on all over the place, and it was around the holidays. And I'm like, I gotta touch base with them. I want to know what they're about, and how you and I connected. I met with Steve Prince and talking over some things that I want to do, and he's like, "You got to talk to Lori. I was like, "Why do I got to talk to Lori?" He's like, "Oh, she just went to the Team Never Quit or the Patriot Tour stop. Where was it?
That was in
Indianapolis.
Indianapolis, yeah. We got to meet David Goggins, Taya Kyle, Marcus Luttrell.
Is Taya Kyle like us Marines? We look at Chesty Puller like he's a god. Is Taya Kyle like a goddess to you?
Well, I personally think most women are goddesses in our own right, but
you're princesses and queens,
right? But you know what? Wow, her message, along with the other messages of the other folks, they have been through hell in many ways.
Yes, they have.
But it's not being strong through everything. It's taking the time to feel the pain, to show your weakness, and then pulling out of it.
Yes.
And that's what their messages are all about. Chad Fleming was the other gentleman there too, and I don't want to forget Chad. So it's just their messages on their podcast is why I listen. And
are you talking about the Team Never Quit podcast?
Yeah.
Inspired by the Team Never Quit podcast, welcome to your rapid fire question rounds.
Oh, great.
Are you ready?
Sure.
All right. Are you sure you're ready?
Sure.
Start the clock.
Can I say pass if I don't want to answer?
No, you have to answer. That's the only rule. You have to answer the question.
Okay.
There is no wrong answer. We're just trying to get you comfortable and trying to set the mood lighting, right?
Fire away.
You ready? Describe yourself in 3 words.
Happy, giving, and a family person.
Pretty conservative answers there, Lori. If you were
But
invisible, where would you visit?
if I were invisible, how about the White House?
You would want to be invisible at the White House?
Yes, I would. I would definitely like to be a fly on the wall in one of those rooms.
Oh, I guess that, yeah, that's now that I think about it, that's pretty good. Pretty good. What's your favorite Halloween costume?
Scary ones. I've been Chucky.
You've been Chucky?
Yeah.
You mean Bride of Chucky?
No Chucky.
What is your favorite song?
My favorite song. Gosh, I have a lot of favorite songs, and it all depends on your mood. You know, I might say one today and another tomorrow. It just all depends.
So right now, your mood, what is your favorite song?
The first thing that came to mind was "Shine Down, Simple Man."
That's good. That's a great remix. They actually did a really good justice. You know, most remixes suck.
That's my, well, you know what? I like Skinner, so
What?
I like their version better than Leonard Skinner.
What advice have you received that has been the most rewarding?
You know what? My husband is a good person for me to bounce ideas and thoughts out of, and I mentioned that we're kind of opposites, but I can't think of any exact advice, but he's the right words to give to me at a particular time, whether if I'm under stress, he helps me handle it.
So, I mean, I guess it's always darkest before the dawn.
Yeah.
You know, that'd be a good way to sum it up. So, if you could change one thing, no, I'm not going to ask you that question. You're a superhero. Who would you be?
Who would I be? Myself. But what I do is fly, because I've always, ever since I was a kid, I've dreamt of flying. So I just want to be myself. But I would have the ability and strength to do those things that I could do, but it would be to help others. So.
Okay. All right. So you didn't give an actual answer. You just listed off some powers that you wanted.
Well, I want to be me.
Okay. Your answers are really generic and really conservative. We got to get down and dirty with some of these answers. Okay, Lori?
I will try.
I need you to start being honest with me. And it's going to start right now. If you won $1 million, what would you buy?
I've always wanted to live on a yacht in the French Riviera. You know, kind of hobnob with the rich people and then go back to normal.
Okay. Now we're getting a little daring with this next question, and this will be the last one, okay?
All right.
And I'm only going to ask you this because you have a badass side to you that we're going to talk about. Okay. What is your weapon of choice?
Well, I was going to say, as far as a firearm.
What is your weapon of choice? Mine would be a throwing star.
My firearm, I guess.
What kind of firearm?
My Ruger SR9C is my favorite. Yep.
You rattled that off pretty quick.
Yes.
You must be a firearms instructor.
I must be.
We'll talk about that in a little bit. Actually, I want to ask you a couple more.
All right.
What are your pet peeves?
Stupid people. And I hate to be generic about that, but if people would just take a little bit of time to think about what they're doing and think about other people. I mean,
let's go down this rabbit hole. Yes.
Like drivers, you know.
I will lead the way down this rabbit hole because I think this is a good topic to talk about. You know, especially considering the commonalities that you and I have. You know, we have gotten involved and done something for the greater good. Right?
Right.
Now, you have not served in the armed forces, but you are serving our country in a different way.
Right.
You are helping the mothers of our warriors.
Right.
Teaching them how to cope and deal with things. I mean, because when I deployed, you know, it absolutely ripped me apart when I had to leave the airport and my mom's standing there and I'm like, yeah, shit. You know, like, see you, Mom, I'm out, you know, but so I leave and I go do what Marines do. And I don't know what's going on back home. And that was part of the struggle with the transition too. When I transitioned home, because in my mind, time stopped. When I left Grand Rapids and joined the Marine Corps, I was 22 years old. What's going on in your life at 22? Most of your friends are in college. So you're hitting the bars on Thursday nights for college night, Friday night, just being jackass college kids, right? So when I got out, I was 26 years old. And I got out, moved back in with my parents, right? That's a reality check. No further along than I was when I was 18. Actually, I'm back behind where I was when I was 18 because I didn't have a freaking job. When I was 18, I had 2 or 3. That's where my mindset was. So I went down to the hangout where everybody would always hang out, and nobody was there. I was like, whoa, the hell is everybody? And then it just hit me like a ton of bricks. Holy shit. They're all graduated. They're in their career fields. They're engaged, getting married, having babies, buying homes, being adults. And I am moving back in with my parents.
Yep.
Holy balls. Right? That was something that nobody ever prepared you for and told you about. And that started like 5 years worth of just shit years. I mean, just horrible times. But something happened in me, and I realized that there's a tribe out there. There's a tribe, the tribe being veterans. We have over 700,000 veterans in the state of Michigan that have all been through what I went through, that could possibly help me in some way, shape, or form. And I was too stubborn and bullheaded and ignorant to even receive any welcomes or anything from them.
Thinking of along that line, when you go into boot camp, you're told exactly what to wear, when to wear it, what to eat, when to eat it, how to cut your hair. And then you get out and you don't have any of that. Doesn't it kind of make sense to find a direction?
Yeah.
Or for that next step?
Podcast number 10, I had Master Sergeant Kenny Murillo on. He was actually my recruiter, and he did 22 years in the Marine Corps, and he just recently retired. And he said it best. And when I was getting out, every out processing veteran goes through what's called a TAMPS class, which is a transition assistance class, where during my time, it was taught by the VA. It was an 8-hour death by PowerPoint, going over all these great benefits that we are now eligible for because we earned them, but nobody could freaking pay attention because A, it was taught by the VA, so it was boring as shit. And B, the only thing that's on your mind is however many days in a wake up and I'm out of here. I don't give a shit what you have to say right now. I want to leave. I want to get out of here, because the VA was required at that time to teach that class within a certain amount of time of us getting out. So I think it was like 30 days. So when you get to that 30-day mark, I mean, it's like senioritis times 9,000. So they don't spend time with it. Kenny Murillo said the government taught him for 22 straight years how to be a Marine, how to kill, how to do, how to be a Marine. And they spent less than 5 days to teach him how to survive when he gets out.
Right.
Like shit. But, he's a different circumstance. He was a recruiter, so he was already embedded. He was a dark spy in the real world. So it was easier for him to transition. I'm not saying he's not struggling, but it's a different transition. But the whole point of this story here that we're talking about is you have to lean on people, and that's what you bring to the table.
Right. When my daughter, she joined in 2006, she graduated college December of 2009, and in January, she deployed. And before she left, she gave me this Blue Star flag. And I had not heard of Blue Star Mothers myself at the time, or Blue Star family. And so I immediately thought, what does this mean? What is this about? And I saw it again, what I said, I Googled, I sought out the local chapter, which at the time was in Kalamazoo. And, some people really need connection, and, some people are more loners, but most people want that connection to help understand what they're going through. And the families back home, like you mentioned, you're excited, you're young, you're off to boot camp and you're doing your thing, but your family's, yes, home, worried about you. And then when you deploy, it's even kind of worse, because you just don't know what's going on, especially if they're in a war zone, right?
Yeah.
And my daughter gave me this big stack of books from the Navy that said, when they're deployed, here are some of your resources, but it's still a lot to digest.
Yeah, it is.
But besides trying to figure out how to support us, it was so rewarding to start serving others in a capacity, where we would do care packages and the veterans home. And
absolutely. And that's where I want to talk about that. Absolutely. Because there's a lot to be said about that too. When you think back to all, if you want to break down your current problems that you're having in your day or in your life, no matter what the problems are, when you start getting involved in giving back and helping other people, what happens to your problems?
They certainly become smaller.
Yes. I'm not saying they go away. Sometimes they do, but there's such an intrinsic benefit to helping other people.
And I wish that in today's world that we're going through, I wish more people would kind of understand that we're too me oriented. And
yes, we are.
If they took time to think, how could I make this world a better place? What could I do within the rules and boundaries of our laws, I will add, that will make a difference here in my community, my life, my country, things would look a lot less bleak to them.
Ask not what my country can do for me, but what can I do for my country?
Yeah.
JFK, inaugural speech, right? I mean, it still holds true today. And it's even more prevalent today because, geez, you're part of something, a fantastic group that serves a greater good. I did my time in service. We had a larger purpose as well. It's pretty incredible what happens having to compromise. I think I was telling you this story either before the podcast or when we first started talking. I have never in my entire life seen such a diverse group of people unite for the greater good than, during my time in.
Because at that time, you find that common bond, and it's your mission. It's your mission. And when you're serving a greater good and you have a mission, it's not about you. It's not about the individual. And
exactly. The only time it's about you is if you feel like you're holding everybody back. You won't be that guy or girl.
Right. You don't want to down.
So you start moving forward because you don't want to be that person. Like when we would go on field ops, I shot artillery, which, anything about artillery, they're large guns. They shoot a long ways. And it takes anywhere between 10 to 20 Marines to actually man and fire the guns. And you'd get assigned a gun, and for the next 2, 3, 4 weeks, these Marines were constantly in your shit. We slept in the back of a truck or on the floor, but we're within a 25-foot bubble, and we can't get away from each other. Okay? So I'm talking Hispanics, Asians. We had guys from Africa. We had people from the bayous. We had people from Boston, Mass. We had the laid-back hippie type people from Colorado and California. What the hell are we going to do? What are we going to talk about? How the hell are we going to survive? This is going to suck ass, the next 3 weeks. It was uncomfortable for about an hour, and then guess what happened? We all became best friends. And to this day, every single field op, our guns were different, so we never had the same people. But even to this day, I think back to even the shittiest dirtbag Marine that we had in our unit. I trust him over any one of my best friends that I had growing up. because we united under the same umbrella for the greater good.
Well, each one of you proved to each other your trust and that you're trustworthy. And that's where we have a problem today is nobody trusts anybody because we think everybody's out for themselves or, okay, they're doing this. What do they want from me?
What's their angle?
Right. Like I said, we need more of a giving atmosphere, and it's a hard challenge right now, I think, because of some of the different things going on. But
I don't want to go down the rabbit hole that I'm about to say, so I'm going to say it and then I'm just going to move on. The participation trophy stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. As parents, it is our responsibility to raise our children to understand that life isn't all about cupcakes, rainbows, lollipops, and unicorns.
Yep. Well, in answer to that, life isn't fair, but it isn't fair for everyone.
Yeah, I mean,
okay.
A true test of character is how you handle the adversity and how you grow from it. We are not doing our kids any favors right now by protective bubble that that a lot of parents put their kids in. So when they turn 18, they go get their first job and they get fired. And oh my God, why did you get fired? Because I wasn't doing what I was supposed to do. Well, why weren't you doing what you were supposed to do? Well, because I didn't want to do it. When I was a regional manager at Planet Fitness, we paid our employees peanuts and Cracker Jacks. So we were stuck with hiring 18 to 22-year-old college kids. Oh my God. Trying to get them to do anything was like pulling teeth. They just rode the coattails of one person. They can't problem solve. It's like, oh my God. Like I had one employee call me after closing, freaking out. The remote doesn't work. I can't turn the TVs off. Like, you see, what? What do you mean you can't turn the TVs off? The remote doesn't work. I don't know how to turn the TVs off. You walk up to the TV and press the freaking power button. Like, what? Like, it's a foreign concept to her. Like, it just debilitated her until I was able to give her some sort of other avenue to escape. You gotta be shitting me. We're now no longer going down that rabbit hole. Turn around, left turn, coming back. So, Blue Star Mothers.
Blue Star Mothers, I'll give you our website. I think you're going to put it in the show notes, right?
Yes, I'm going to put every event and every website and everything that we're going to talk about here, I'm going to put in the podcast description. So if you want to donate, sponsor, get involved, the links are all going to be in the podcast description. And I'm also going to post them in the comments of the Facebook post.
Okay. So a couple of things. BlueStarMothers.org is our national organization. You have the website for our local organization, which is South Kent.
Where's that located?
In the South Kent area, Kentwood area.
So you guys, like your headquarters is in Kentwood?
We actually meet at the AMVETS at 52nd and Division.
Okay.
So there are other chapters. We have two sister chapters that are pretty near us, but they're further north. 188 and 194, I believe.
Yeah. And you can absolutely help people get connected, right?
Right. And if someone nationally, I mean, again, we're a national organization. So
you have the resources. If somebody reaches out to you from Florida, you have resources available.
Exactly. To find a chapter in their location.
Okay.
And then we currently have a fundraiser going on. We're selling Blue Star Family Grunt style t-shirts. And those will be on their website under customs, and you'll post the link for that. Those are for Blue Star families. So if you have, again, if a loved one is serving or has served, a portion of the proceeds go back to our chapter of Blue Star Mothers. And then next week is Operation Handshake. And
Operation Handshake. Yeah. What is that?
That's in conjunction with Patriot Guard. Patriot Guard is the motorcycle group that they usually escort by motorcycle to final resting places for our soldiers.
Badass sight.
Or they'll stand a flag line for a soldier coming home who was killed in action. But if you go to their website, they all specifically say there, you do not have to ride a motorcycle to be a member. So anyone can be a member of Patriot Guard.
You don't have to be a veteran?
Pardon me?
You don't have to be a veteran?
You don't have to be a veteran. You don't have to be a motorcycle person or anything to be a member of Patriot Guard.
What if you just like wearing leather? Join the Patriot Guard.
Exactly. So they organize Operation Handshake. There's one coming up next week, the day before Thanksgiving.
Wednesday, November 21st at the Gerald R. Ford Airport.
It's from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. And the public is invited. And all you have to do, if you would like to show your patriotism and holiday cheer, just show up and stand the flag line for as long as you want to.
You know, whenever I flew home, I was very under the radar type guy. It took me a long time to get comfortable with announcing the fact that I served and I am a Marine. Make our troops feel like they're welcome. Make them feel like we love them. Give them a hero's welcome. It goes a long way because you don't know how long they've been gone.
Well, I know that we all know that how humble, nobody, I don't want to say they're embarrassed, but they're like, it's okay. It's okay. It is important for you to hear that you are appreciated for what you've done, but it's also important for the public to thank you. They need to show that appreciation. And it doesn't matter in what capacity you served. It doesn't matter if you were on the front lines. It doesn't matter if you were a cook on a ship. It doesn't matter. Everyone has a purpose, and your service to your country is what's important to us.
Exactly. I'm glad you said that because I know I speak to a lot of veterans who are almost embarrassed about what they did when they served. I was a cook. I don't want to talk about it. Well, you answered the nation's call. You have done more for this country than 90% of the population. Be proud of that fact. There's a big divide in the Marine Corps. Can't speak to the other branches, but it's a pogue and a grunt, right? So a pogue is a person other than grunt, and a grunt is the rifleman, the ground forces, the assault force. And we always joke around about the fact that a grunt, a rifleman, the ground troops are the first ones to go in. They're the first ones to get shot. They're the first ones to die. But they're stupid. They're so stupid they failed their ASVAB, which is your entry into, to get into the armed forces. It's an ASVAB test. It's like a fake SAT. And if you score over a certain cutting score, you qualify for all these jobs. If you score under this certain score, you're doomed to the assault force. So grunts are extremely proud of the fact that they're idiots, just big, dumb knuckle draggers. And they make fun of everybody else for being a pogue, a person other than grunt. Well, the pogues are what fuel the war machine. So those grunts would not be able to do what they do without any of us pogues. And I'm considered a pogue because I shot artillery. I wasn't a ground troop. So there's a big divide there.
But again, like I said, everyone, like you said, they answer the call. You serve their country, and those grunts can't do the work if they're not fed.
Correct.
And everyone has a purpose. So,
but that's only when you're active duty, like when you're in. And now that we're out, nobody gives a shit. A Marine is a Marine is a Marine to the day you die. I don't give a shit if you're a cook, you're a mortarman. Well, I make fun of you if you're a mortarman because I shot artillery and I think it's cute that they shoot the pea shooters. But that's just a different razzing versus pogue and grunt. So
we just had Veterans Day, and I actually saw a veteran say that they don't like to hear thank you for your service. Well, here's the thing. Most people who are not military family or related, they don't know what to say, but they want to say something.
Because they're uncomfortable. They're
right.
They don't know how to answer it.
Gives them something to say to let them know they're basically acknowledging what you have done. And they just usually just say thank you back, or you're welcome. I mean, you're welcome,
Yeah.
you know?
I mean, that was me. To be honest with you, that was me when I was in, when I was in, that was 100% me. I didn't want the acknowledgement. I didn't want the attention, because in my mind, I'm doing it for my own personal reasons. Like that was just the way you thought back then. However you could, whatever your mindset was to get through the suck was what you were. And I was very uncomfortable. I didn't know how to handle it. And even still to this day, it's still a kind of an uncomfortable thing when people are like, if we have veterans in the stands or out in the crowd, can you please stand and be acknowledged? It's like, I don't want to get up. I don't like this,
Well, along those lines, we just had the Veterans Assembly at our local school.
Mm-hmm.
And the veterans who come are mostly older at this point, okay?
Yep.
But I'd like to see a lot of younger people in there, but they're all working. They're married, they're earning a living right now, right? But it's important for our children to see you stand up.
Yes.
It's important for them to see that, the folks who have volunteered their life to serve their country.
Exactly. And I didn't, you don't think of that when you're in, right? Because it's just something you don't think about. And now, I come up with so many different answers.
And here's the other thing. If you really want to thank a veteran or military, be the kind of citizen worth fighting for.
Exactly. Perfectly said. Perfectly said. My response to thank you for your service is you were worth it. Like that. What else can I say? You were worth it. So Operation Handshake.
Yep. So
let's all get involved somehow, some way, shape, or form. Donate some time. That you don't have. There's no set time limit. There's no master list of when all the troops are coming. But there's going to be a lot of veteran advocates out there, a lot of great organizations. Meet some people. Get off our phones and meet people. New concept there.
And then there's the Wreaths across America.
Yeah, this one was awesome last year. I had a lot of fun. At 12 noon on December 15th, Wreaths across America begin laying wreaths on every tombstone in national cemeteries where veterans are buried. So here in the state of Michigan, or here in West Michigan, I should say, it's the Grand Rapids Home for Veterans, which has over 5,000 tombstones. And you told me about the new one. What's the new one?
It's Chapel Hill Cemetery. That's the one, Patterson and 28th Street.
So the southeast side, correct?
Yep. And there's two ways that folks can help with that. We need wreaths to be sponsored, and that's $15 for one wreath, 30 for two. You'll post the link to that so they can go online and actually sponsor wreaths to be placed. And the second way is to be a person who comes out and helps lay wreaths.
That's a lot of wreaths you have to lay.
Yeah, but it goes fast when you have many hands.
Many hands make for light work. Last year, I was shocked. I was floored seeing the turnout. It made me so proud because I was expecting I was going to be there all afternoon. Nobody, it's very hard to, for some reason, the marketing and advertising and spreading the word is not as efficient as what it probably could be. But I like this year, I'm trying to promote it as much as I can and last year I promoted it as much as I can. And I'm not saying it was because of me, but sure, why not? It was because of me.
Well, some people like me, I look for opportunities to help, and not everyone does. So unless it's on the news in front of you,
Facebook is a great tool that a lot of organizations aren't using. Right. A lot of organizations, the American Legion and VFWs, and I'm not going to go down there because I covered that in podcast 10. It's a great tool to help spread word. So if you find any events, please share them with me. I'll be happy to share them on all the platforms and help get more people involved. But last year,
just to give people an idea of how many wreaths are needed, there's 5,400 graves at the Grand Rapids Home for Veterans Cemetery, and currently there are only 1,100 and I think 36 sponsored currently. So
somebody's going door knocking.
by December 15th, we need those wreaths
Sponsors, yeah, absolutely. So let's try to let's brainstorm something. Let's come up with a way to get some money raised.
Yeah.
What do you say, Laura?
Then I would also mention that we have a pack for the troops, shop for the troops coming up on December 17th.
Hold on. Let's finish off the wreaths and then we'll talk about the shops. Okay. So last year I was floored with the response. I mean, it was amazing to see so many veteran supporters there. I mean, it just really, I was very proud to be in West Michigan. I want to double it. It took us 10 minutes to do the wreaths last year. Let's do it in 5. Get more people out there. I'll post the event links in the podcast description. I challenge you to not you, Lori, but I challenge any listener.
Bring your family.
Oh my God. I'm bringing my daughter this year, my 4-year-old daughter. It's going to be a riot. I was scared to bring her last year because I just didn't know what to expect. But there's kids running all over the place and not disrespectfully. They're not running up the tombs. It's not like that. But there's a bunch of kids there, and it's just a great way to give back and feel good about what you're doing.
It's a great way to teach them giving and patriotism.
And it looks cool as shit from 96 when you're driving. You can see all the wreaths on the tombstones. It looks awesome. Let's talk about your shopping event.
Yep, that will be this Saturday from 9 to 3 at Family Fair in Kentwood. And there will be representatives out there from Blue Star Mothers and also David Warson Legacy. David Warson was killed in action.
SEAL Team 3, Afghanistan.
Anyway, we'll have little lists about the things that we need, and folks can take that list, and as they do their own grocery shopping, they can pick up an extra thing or two and then drop it off with us on their way out.
So the family fair.
This Saturday from 9 to 3.
What family fair is it again?
Kentwood.
So if you
on Kalamazoo Avenue.
Let's flood that place.
Okay.
Do it.
I know that folks, they're help in many different ways, but if you can pick up an extra item while you're shopping, something very simple like that,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. And then as a result of that shop and a couple other events that we've already had for that purpose, we will be packing care packages on December 3rd at East Kentwood High School in the cafeteria.
Okay.
And those, all of the items purchased and donated to us will be going into the care packages for our deployed troops.
Question.
Yep.
Can you give me the list that I can post? See if we can just have people donate them? Or no?
Well, we are kind of late in the collection, so I'm not sure exactly what our need is. And I think they're handing out lists based. So as you can imagine.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a huge production, and I'm probably throwing a huge wrinkle into it by asking you that question. But
no, it's okay. And I'll tell you what would really help if someone would like to donate cash. Because
I was just going to say, just give us your money.
Well, cash allows us to purchase the last minute items that we didn't have enough of. And it also helps us with postage.
Okay.
Because we have to pay for postage to ship these packages. So
where are they going?
All over
the world,
depending on where they're deployed. So
you're sending these to deployed troops.
Correct.
Okay.
We are not currently sending any down to the border that I'm aware.
The caravan, that caravan is very well dressed for being homeless and poverty stricken. Yeah. Brand new tennis shoes and Under Armour shirts. Anyways, so if somebody wants to donate money, how do they do it? Can they do it through PayPal? How do they do it?
I would say if someone wants to donate, they could reach out into comments on this podcast or get in touch with me.
Okay.
We currently don't have a site set up for donations, but I could let them know, or they could drop off a cash donation at the family fair on Saturday. that
We're
would
not
work
going to give
as
our
well.
money to Family Fair. We're going to give them to the Blue Star Mothers. Come
No,
on.
I mean to the folks collecting.
I know. I'm just kidding.
And also, so the public is invited to help us with our pack as well. We start sorting around 4 p.m. And so about an hour and a half later, around 5:30, if the public wants to show up just to help start packing these boxes. And same thing there. Many hands make light work, and it goes pretty quickly.
It's awesome.
So
yeah, I'll post. So just to summarize this all, that we're talking about a shopping event for a wrapping event in which we're going to send supplies overseas to the troops deployed.
correct.
So this Saturday is the shopping. December 3rd is the wrapping and packing.
Yep.
And they're going to go out. So we'll post the links to that as well. Did I summarize that correctly?
Yes, you did. Thank you.
Any final comments on that?
And as kind of a summary of Blue Star Mothers, we do fundraisers all year. We usually have 2 or 3 big ones that help us raise funds to do the things that we like to do to support our veterans and military. So while we collect things with Shop for the Troops, we still have to pay for the postage, and we end up using our fundraisers to help pay for postage or the things we do for the veterans at the veterans home. So a couple of big ones coming up. We will, in the spring, we will be having none of these dates are set yet, so I'm just giving you a heads up. We'll do like a spring dinner dance. We are planning a.
Are we talking black tie event here or what?
It's probably going to have a theme, like
Okay.
possibly Mardi Gras or St. Patty's Day or something like that.
It's going to get a little crazy with those beads, don't you think?
It will be fun. It will be fun. And then we have a golf outing coming up in probably around June, and then August, September, we'll do a 5K fun run.
Cool.
So,
well,
all things
you
that
have
people
to make sure you let me know, because
I
yes, I want to be involved with them on the sponsor side and also help you promote on the marketing side. So Blue Star Mothers is a fantastic organization. Lori's a huge veteran advocate for it, and she loves the Patriot Tour because it all ties in to what makes her so badass and her little hidden secret. What would that be, Lori?
I think you're alluding to the fact that I'm a firearms instructor.
Yes, and a self-defense tactics and techniques instructor, right?
Yes.
So, where are you an instructor at?
I am an instructor at Trinity Training and Security, which is part of TTS Fitness in Middleville.
Okay.
My brother owns both businesses. The TTS Fitness is the gym, and Trinity Training Security, we do firearms instruction, basic CPL, advanced classes, and we also do security for events and that type of thing.
Here comes a $1 million question. Do you offer veteran discounts?
Yes, we do. We are a veteran-owned business. My brother was served in the Navy. So did my father. So we're
Awesome.
a veteran-owned business, and we love our vets. We're a very small company. We love
Intimate. You're intimate.
intimate. We love the personal touch. We actually like a smaller size class so that we can give everyone personal attention. And
how often do you hold classes? Is this like a daily thing? Is this like a weekly, monthly? Like
we hold CPL classes once a month.
Okay.
But we have like a basic gun class every 6 months. We just had a homeschool group attend our basic firearms class, just a basic handgun class.
Okay.
And it was a great class for these young people.
Wait, you're teaching kids?
We are teaching kids. Isn't that great?
Whoa.
And we do everything but any live fire. We have an indoor laser range, which allows
you to teach little kids gun safety, gun control.
Exactly.
You know, this is a good time to talk about why everybody's so fucking scared of guns. It's because it's the fear of the unknown.
Exactly. Yeah.
So the argument is, well, we have all these deaths, these gun-related deaths because of all the guns. Yeah, that's kind of, I guess, in your weird twisted logic, that makes sense. But it's because people are uneducated.
I feel like I'm preaching to the choir because I'm sure that most people listening would know this, but it's unfortunately people go to the news for their information, and
Fake
we all know.
news, hashtag fake news.
Well, they're in the news. They're uneducated themselves, and if someone's going to vote on a law, they should be finding out the truth and the details before they vote or make. But the same with firearms, and just seek out the truth. And I've also invited different people who may have been anti-gun or been uneducated. I'm like, come to one of our classes.
Did they show up?
Nope, never show up. But I mean, I had a friend referred her daughter to me. Or her daughter needed information for a college class, and she knew I was an instructor, so she asked if her daughter could call me to talk. And as a college-age student, she was totally surprised to find out we teach conflict avoidance, situational awareness, and de-escalation. Many anti-gun people think we're out to shoot people because we want.
This is how you hit the center mass and watch the pink mist every single time. It's because you got to do it like this. That's not what firearm training is.
Right. And
that's what it is in the military. Absolutely.
Fight you're guaranteed to win is the one you don't get into.
Yeah.
That's what we teach, and then we also teach the guns and the shooting and that type of thing. But when you're talking about your life, it's your life first, and you need to know how to protect yourself.
Exactly. If a person with a gun that's robbing you doesn't give a flying shit about your stance on handguns, right?
Exactly.
So what the hell are you gonna do? Are you gonna throw? Are you gonna throw peanuts at them? Because I think that's what war is gonna evolve to eventually. With this cupcake world that we're living in, we're gonna start throwing peanuts at each other. These freaking peanut allergies. Instead of bullets, they're gonna be peanuts, and people are just gonna go into shock. But I mean, it's just frustrating.
And if someone has their CPL, we have advanced classes, and we also have weekly tactical classes. They're just 1 hour on Thursday nights from 6:30 to 7:30. And we did that because I always use the tagline, never stop training. Someone might get their CPL license and go home, put their firearm away, and never touch it again until their license is going to expire. Then they want to know what they forgot.
Yeah.
You want to be able to shoot fairly frequently and review the law. I cannot stress enough the laws, what you can and cannot do. I'm floored by some discussions on public forums regarding stand your ground and the way that people misunderstand what stand your ground really means.
Stand your ground.
Well, the only thing stand your ground does, and Michigan is a stand your ground state, is remove your that you have to escape. So you have to. That's all. You don't have to escape, okay? But you still
like what do you mean? Can you elaborate on that?
Well, yeah. So there are the laws to claim self-defense are you must be in immediate fear for your life, immediate fear. You must be the innocent party, and there should be no lesser force available to stop the threat. And the last one is escape. Those 4 rules must be in place when you use deadly force, okay? The only thing stand your ground does is remove that element of I have to escape. So maybe you're in the parking lot and you can't escape because I'm holding my granddaughter's hand.
Yeah, or how the hell are you going to run across a parking lot and not get shot?
Exactly. So that's all stand your ground does. It does not mean that if you're face in my face threatening me, I'm going to pull my firearm and shoot you. That is not what that means. But I see comments like that, and it's very scary. And if those persons ever find themselves in that situation, they're going to find themselves, talking to a prosecutor.
Yeah, and I love that line. Never stop training, because I mean, holy shit. I mean, I'm going to tie it into my time in service. know how many hours we wasted driving down the middle of the fucking road, training for IEDs? You know, like it's the middle of the road. We get it. All right. How many times do we have to go through room sweeping and room clearing and, you know, like just constantly over and over and over and over and over again? It's all because of this thing called the fog of war, right? When it starts hitting the fan and your adrenaline starts going, that's called the fog of war. You don't know what's going on. You know, we were on a convoy. We're coming back with the bomb squad. We went out and blew up the truck that was shady, right? So we went and blew it up. We're driving back, and I am tired as all hell, but I'm staying in the middle of the road. I'm smoking one cigarette after another, trying to stay awake. And we got hit. It was my Humvee. We got hit. And you don't know what the hell's going on. I mean, my first reaction was not an IED. It was like, holy, what the hell was that? But training kicks in. But floors the gas pedal. We get through the plume of smoke and like develop 360, and you just start firing, right? Because you don't know what the hell's going on. That's the fog of war. So if you take a CPL class and you shoot, how many rounds do you shoot during that class?
About 50. About 50.
50 freaking rounds. Okay. You put it up, you put it in the closet. 2 years from now, you start getting attacked. Do you think that attacker is going to listen to you when you say, hey, TV timeout, I need to remember how to load this magazine?
Exactly. And our Thursday tactical classes are great because we may do things like drawing from concealment, moving and shooting, those type of things. But we also do classes like CPR, first aid, bug out bags. And we do a little bit of instructions, but we're also not know-it-alls either.
Yeah.
We really love hanging out with like-minded people, and we invite others, come share your bug out bag, come show us what you do, come, you know. So it's just like an hour just to talk to a bunch of like-minded people. And
awesome.
It's free to members of the gym, TTS Fitness, or just $8. I mean, $8 for a drop-in class, you know.
That's
we
crazy.
We rotate our curriculum, so it's, if you missed the class this week and you want to do it again, we're going to do it again next rotation. So
awesome. Sounds like you got something pretty hopping down there.
Well, you know, I retired earlier this year, and I am so blessed to be able to do something like this that I really love, and to do it with my brother.
That's awesome. You know, and kudos to you, because retirement could be looked at the same way as transitioning out of the military. Now, it's a totally different world. I get it, but I mean, your life is getting turned upside down, right? From what you knew on a daily basis for the last however many years is no longer happening. You know, the family that you were with at work, you no longer see every day, right? Yep. So you are getting involved, and you have a whole new family now, sense of community, like a safe zone where you can go and be yourself.
Yep. And
surrounded by like-minded individuals.
Yep. So between volunteering and teaching firearms classes, I mean, I love teaching. So just being with people and connecting, it's really great.
Well, it's great to hear, and I'm honored to have had the chance to meet you, and I look forward to teaming up and bringing some cool things here to West Michigan. And by the way, we're doing this on a video chat, and Lori's name is spelled Lima, Oscar, Romeo, India. Legitimately, she spelled it out phonetically.
That's the name of my phone. So that's
I know, but it's just funny because, you know, I want to talk about that because, you know, I hear this all the time too, is, you know, oh, I was thinking about joining, I just didn't, and now I really regret it. So I'm talking about the non-veterans that want to get involved, but they're nervous because they're not a veteran. They think that they're doing something dirty or wrong. And, you know, you don't have to wear a uniform in order to serve your country.
Exactly.
There's many different ways that you can get involved now. I mean, one of my good friends, he's down in Nashville. You know, he says it all. I think he holds a lot of guilt over it. He was trying to go in and he got hurt, and he couldn't go in. And to this day, almost every time I see him, he's like, damn it. It's one of my biggest regrets. But what he doesn't realize is that he is the largest veteran advocate in all of Tennessee. This guy does some fantastic things for veterans, not only monetary wise and support wise. He's a VA home loan specialist just like myself. So there's many things that he's doing down there that are just absolutely incredible and badass. And he's not a veteran, but this is how he's giving back, and this is how he feels comfortable with it. Right? He just had a promotion where he designed a shirt in conjunction with 22 Kill. So it's branded with his brand and 22 Kill, and there was a couple other things, along with it. All proceeds were donated to 22 Kill at the end of it. I think he donated a grand total of like $900. I mean, that's just something that he didn't have to do. He just did it because he loves giving back to veterans, and that's how he serves this country. And the rest of the 90% of the population that never served, maybe half of them have that same feeling. Maybe it might be less.
Yep. Going back to Blue Star Mothers, I mean, I've had some moms, and again, some people are joiners, some aren't, but they may say, I don't have time for that, or I'm not much of a people person, or, you can always give in some way.
There's three ways. There's three things that every person can give. Give one of the three. Well, do you want me to say the three?
Go ahead.
Time, by volunteering. Treasure, by donating. And talent. That's kind of a mixture of the time and treasure. Because whatever I just recently, 92 for 22 is a nonprofit organization that just started here in West Michigan, and they stand for veteran suicide and PTSD. They just had a huge event in September, 22-kilometer walk from the Allendale and Family Fair in Allendale to the Brands on Leonard Street. All of them are Marines, so you bet your ass I got their 6, right? So I reached out to them like, hey, how can I help you promote this? How can I get the word out? Because this is a great event. I want to get involved however I can. Running a small business is a lot like what I do as a VA home loan specialist, because I am a small business myself. So a lot of their struggles that I noticed, I already had the remedy for. That's a talent. I donated treasure and I donated my time. So I did all three on that one, the trifecta. And I'm not looking for kudos, but I didn't know I was going to donate talent. Like you just go in there and you're like, oh, hey, I can help you with that. But that's just the type of person I am, because that's how Marines are. That's how every veteran is. We help each other out. We give each other the shirts off our back without regard to our own well-being. We don't expect to be paid back. And that's because we have served that greater good, and we don't expect it.
Yeah. And right? The thing is everybody is so busy today. I mean, most people are working full time.
That's bullshit. That's a bullshit excuse. I'm going to call a spade there.
That's the point, though. Is you can find some way. Again, do something like Operation Handshake to bring your children to teach them patriotism and giving. Or sit down with them in your living room and design cards that go in the boxes for the troops. Or
I mean, there's so many things that you can do.
Yep, there's always something in some way, and even if it's not military related, anything, just find a way to help others, and you will be blessed, innumerously back.
Yeah, it's amazing what happens to your problems, right?
Yep.
Well, we should probably start wrapping this up. I don't want to. I'm having a great conversation with you.
I'm so glad we got connected. Yep, I'm so glad we got connected, and I look forward to working together in the future.
I'm really looking forward to trying to plan some sort of big event with you.
Sounds great.
Some sort of veteran networking, not networking, I hate saying networking, but just like a veteran fest. Let's celebrate our veterans, not honor them. We're going to celebrate the shit out of them, by doing something cool. I don't know what. Stand by for that. But I can't wait to see where we are next year. Because last year at this time, I was just getting involved with everything. And again, I'm not saying all these stories or anything to draw attention to me. I just know like the amount of growth that I've had personally over the last year has been phenomenal. Not only mentally, but just where I'm at in my life. And it's all attested to the fact that I got involved. I'm around my people every day. The greatest conversation a veteran can have is with another veteran, because guess what? We don't fucking judge you because we know what it's like. We'll probably try to one up you, you know? And it's a great conversation, and it just it's awesome, right? And then when you start taking care of your fellow veterans, that's when things start getting real. You know, like I talked to like one of my first clients that I talked to, he was a Marine, Vietnam veteran, told over and over and over again that he could not get a VA home loan. He was not qualified, not eligible, so on and so forth. He needed $20,000 down. It was going to take him 8 months in order to purchase a home. I was like, whoa, hold the F up. Who's telling you that? And I ran his file. Nothing was wrong with it. Nothing. I mean, so I'm like, are you shitting me? I had him pre-approved within 24 hours with him putting no money down. Zero. And what pissed me off the most was the fact that this lender told him that he needed $20,000 as a down payment, which the VA home loan does not require a down payment. They cut off their heat in their home for the entire winter to save up for this down payment. I'm like, you fucking crooks. Are you serious? You know, like, really? So, but I got him pre-approved. We got him into a home. And when I told him that, he broke down in tears. I mean, like, I was not expecting it. Like, whoa, you know, but you just really don't know the effect that you have on somebody else until you actually start getting out there and getting involved.
You know, in relation to that point, and we talked about not being alone and helping others. It's like, if someone's sitting there alone thinking that they're feeling alone, start trying some of these things. Reach out to someone you know, and reach out to another person you know. Next thing you know, you'll be involved and you'll have community. I mean,
Yeah.
we are human beings. We are born and bred to be part of a family and part of a community. We are not meant to be alone. So if you're feeling alone, it's like you have to reach out and try and connect.
And even if you don't want to talk to anybody, that's fine. I won't fucking talk to you. I'll sit in the room with you the whole time. I won't talk. You know, that's the thing with veterans. We get it, you know, because we've been through it. We've had these thoughts, and it's the same thoughts. And that's why I am so hell bent on sharing my stories and what I've gone through, because I served with a Marine who had killed himself. And that really made me think, like, what the hell, man? Like, we did the same things, we saw the same shit, and he took that route, and I transitioned, and yeah, it sucked a little bit, but now I'm thriving. Why is that? And you know, it really all boiled down to the fact that because I talk about it, I try to get out and talk about it. And, you know, I don't bring it up in conversation, but now I do, because there's a lot to be said in the shared stories. Because if I would have heard Jake Schick's story in 2009, I probably would have been way ahead of where I'm at right now, because his story is a lot like mine. Now, I have both arms and both legs, and he lost a leg, but my story is a lot like his. And there was light at the end of his tunnel, and he's missing a leg. What the hell's wrong with me? You know, get your ass up out of the gutter and let's do this. You know, those stories, I mean, they may not, some of my stories might not resonate with anybody in the room, but I don't know that until I say it.
Yeah. And you know what else? It's okay to have a little pity party. We all do, right?
Yeah.
But then wake up in the morning, get your shit together, and go do
Exactly.
something.
I mean,
You know?
you're allowed to be down in the dumps for a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, if a veteran transitions from active duty back home and doesn't have that down in the dumps type moment, I think that's a red flag. You know, I expect it. I mean, it should be expected because you go from doing something completely badass, just, you know, like I was playing with multi-million-dollar weapon system, shooting unlimited free bullets, by the way, which
Jealous.
you know, unlimited free bullets, you know, like just throwing hand grenades, doing cool shit. I mean, I have a good friend of mine. He's a Navy SEAL. He's like, dude, I got out of the SEAL team, you know, jumping out of planes, doing SEAL things into 30-year fixed mortgages. Wah, wah. That was a fall from grace, you know, but it's just a kick. It's the thing that you're just not prepared for, you know, many factors and, you know, that come involved, you know,
But you know what I hear in your voice, because it's not about the mortgages.
No.
Like you said, want. It's about the community that you're building.
Yep.
The people that you're helping.
Exactly.
And that's so satisfying.
Exactly. I mean, there's been times my wife always gets on me because she's like, did you get any leads today? I'm like, yeah, I got a couple leads. Well, are they anything good? Yeah, they're good. Well, are you going to do a loan for them? No, I'm not. I'm referring them to somebody else because they're not able to qualify right now. She's like, those aren't good leads. Yes, they are good leads to me because I have done a very good job of building out a network of people that I can connect veterans with, the resources that are available to us. You know, community builders, they offer 3 free months of rent for any veteran who's down and out on their luck. You know, like that's freaking awesome. That's a house over their head. You know, like who would have thought that a company called Community Builders does that? How do you Google it? You know, you can't Google 3 free months of rent for veterans. Right. You know, like, so the most rewarding conversations and actions that I can do is when I connect veterans with the resources available with whatever's going on in their life. That's super rewarding.
Goes back to giving, right?
Yeah. It's, you know, you compare that to any other loan officer other than the elite VA loan specialist that I work with. They, you know, if they have a week where they get 0 leads, they are Eeyore up and down the hallway. I don't know where my next loan is going to come from. You know, like, dude, you are a pile of garbage. Go out and find a lead. I had no leads this week, but I feel fucking fantastic because I've gotten involved for the greater good, and I'm giving back to my brothers in arms, and that's huge. And I know it's huge to you too.
Yep, absolutely.
So let's start wrapping this up. We've been chatting for a while. There's so much more we can talk about, I'm sure.
Maybe another time.
I'm having a fantastic conversation with your ceiling fan. No, she had to put her phone down because she was holding it, and then now I'm looking at her ceiling fan. But anyways, I greatly appreciate what you do for our troops, and thank you for everything that you do, and thank you for coming on the podcast. It's been an honor to be on this podcast with you for about an hour. So
thank you so much, and God bless America.
Fuck yeah. That's all I have to say about that. All right, so I will post those links in the podcast description, and we got to figure out a day. I think we were talking to like January would be a good time, right? Because you should have your spring dance and everything figured out.
Hopefully, looking forward to a date, yeah.
And if I don't have a podcast guest, maybe I should come on. All right. I know you got a bunch of stuff to do. Go shoot a deer. How about that?
Absolutely.
And then make me some jerky because I like some of that.
That sounds good. Thanks again for having me. Okay.
You're welcome. Thank you for coming on, and have a great day.